Boarding pass, please. His voice was clipped, businesslike, without warmth. I slid my pass across the counter, along with the embossed lounge badge my company had earned through years of contracts. He barely glanced at it. This lounge is for business class passengers only. My chest tightened. I am a business class passenger. And this badge, I tapped it gently, forcing my voice to stay calm. This is a corporate access badge. It gives me entry. A smirk tugged at his mouth. Ma'am, maybe you misunderstood. This lounge is for eligible guests. Eligible. The word burned. I'm telling you, I am eligible. I fly this route every week. My company literally pays for this lounge contract. He pushed my pass back across the counter. Not today. I blinked. Not today? My voice cracked louder than I intended. What does that even mean? A man behind me coughed impatiently. I heard a woman whisper, maybe she's in the wrong place. I turned, eyes darting. Their stares were sharp, questioning, as though I had already done something wrong. I swallowed hard and faced him again. Check it again. Scan it properly. I belong here. His voice dropped half an octave, smooth but sharp. We both know you don't. My stomach twisted. He didn't need to say more. I heard it anyway, hidden inside his words. I leaned closer, my voice shaking. What did you just mean by that? His smirk widened. He said nothing. The silence was louder than words. Another passenger, a tall white man in a navy suit, walked briskly to the counter. Without hesitation, Carter straightened. Welcome back, sir. Right this way. He scanned the man's ticket. Once, quick, smooth, no questions. The barrier slid open. I turned, desperate. Wait, you didn't check him twice. You didn't even look at his badge. The businessman frowned slightly, looking at me like I was the problem, then disappeared inside. Heat surged up my neck. Why him and not me? Carter's eyes cut into mine, calm, cruel. Because he belongs here. My throat tightened. So, you're saying I don't? With the same boarding class? With a badge? With the contract my company signed? He folded his arms. Ma'am, please don't raise your voice. You're disturbing the other guests. The other guests. I could feel their eyes on me, some curious, some entertained, some quietly disgusted. I wanted to scream, I am not disturbing you. I am being silenced. I'm not raising my voice. I whispered harshly. I am demanding the respect I've already earned. He leaned forward, so close only I could hear. Respect is earned. Access is granted. You have neither. The words cut like a blade. I froze, gripping my badge tighter, as though the metal could shield me. My heart hammered in my chest. My instinct screamed to argue louder, to prove myself, but something inside me, something deeper, colder, kept me still. A woman nearby muttered to her husband, maybe she forged it. Her husband murmured back, let's not get involved. Shame washed over me, heavy, suffocating. I forced myself to speak, each word trembling but clear. You are humiliating me in front of strangers, when you know I have every right to walk in there. Carter tilted his head, pretending patience, his tone low, almost mocking. Then why don't you show me proof? Something more than that. His eyes flicked to my skin for the briefest moment, then away. I felt it. He wanted me to notice. I whispered, You don't even see me as human, do you? For the first time, his smirk faltered. He didn't answer. The silence stretched, heavy, unbearable. I looked around at the crowd, my voice breaking. Do you see this? Do you hear what he's doing? Nobody spoke. Not one of them. Their silence screamed louder than his whisper. I pressed my badge flat against the counter, my hand shaking. This badge is worth more than every excuse you've given me. And yet you stand there, pretending it doesn't exist. Pretending I don't exist. He met my eyes, unblinking. Maybe you should try another lounge. That was it. That was the final cut. I stepped back slowly, clutching my boarding pass. My voice cracked in a whisper, half to him, half to myself. 7 minutes. That's all it took for you to show me what you really think I am. For the first time, he broke eye contact. But the damage was done. I sank into the hard plastic, seat just outside the lounge doors, my hands trembling against the boarding pass. My chest was still tight, breath shallow. I could hear them, the voices behind me, sharp enough to pierce skin. She probably can't afford it, a woman whispered. She had a badge, a young man answered quietly. Didn't you see? The woman clicked her tongue. People forge things all the time. Their words weren't meant for me, but they landed anyway. Every syllable was a blade. I gripped my phone like it was an anchor, willing myself not to turn and scream at them. My thumb hovered. Then I dialed Maya. She answered on the first ring. You sound shaken. What happened? I swallowed hard. He locked me out. My voice cracked. In my own lounge, Maya. He looked me in the eye and shut the door. Her silence lasted a beat too long, then exploded into fury. He what? Say the word, and I'll shred his contract right now. I'll have his badge stripped before his shift ends. I closed my eyes, the burn behind them threatening to spill over. Not yet. Not yet? Her voice rose. You're sitting outside your own lounge, humiliated, while he lets others stroll past. You're the CEO. They can't treat you like this. I need to hear how far he'll go, I whispered. She exhaled hard. You're calmer than I am, and you're the one being insulted. A man sitting 2 seats away leaned toward the woman, beside him. She's making a scene. That's what this is. My blood boiled. I pressed the phone harder to my ear, whispering, They're whispering about me, like I'm a criminal. Then let them whisper, Maya snapped. Their ignorance doesn't define you. His racism doesn't define you. You define you. Her words steadied me for a moment, but then another passenger chimed in, just loud enough. If she belonged. There. They'd have let her in. The young man's voice returned, firmer this time. You don't know that. You didn't hear how he spoke to her. That wasn't policy. That was personal. I wanted to thank him, to turn and say thank you for seeing me. But my throat felt locked. I couldn't risk it breaking. Maya's voice pulled me back. You don't have to sit there and bleed in silence. Tell me what you want and I'll move mountains. I breathed slowly, forcing the anger down, forcing the humiliation to sit still inside me. I want the truth to come out of their mouths. First, I want them to show everyone exactly what they are. There was a pause. Then Maya said quietly, almost reverently, You're stronger than me. I laughed once, bitter. No, Maya, I'm just used to swallowing fire until it burns a hole through me. The woman behind me hissed again. She should just move. People like her make everything about race. I couldn't take it anymore. I turned halfway, my voice low but cutting. I didn't make this about race. He did. You did. Your silence did. The woman flinched but said nothing. The young man met my eyes for the first time. His gaze was steady, almost apologetic. He whispered, You don't deserve this. Something in my chest cracked at that. Just 4 words, but they mattered more than all the noise around me. Maya spoke again, firmer now. Stay seated. Don't give them the satisfaction of seeing you retreat. This isn't the end. This is the beginning of something they'll regret. I nodded, even though she couldn't see me. I'll wait. I'll listen. And then, when they think they've won, I'll remind them whose name is on the contract above that door. The young man shifted, his voice louder this time, directed at the crowd. It's wrong. What they did to her. You all saw it. Nobody responded. Just shifting feet, uneasy silence. That silence told me everything. They knew. They just didn't want to admit it? I whispered into the phone, voice steady now, voice no longer breaking. Let them keep digging their own grave, Maya. When the time comes, I won't have to raise my voice. The truth will do it for me. I want your manager. My voice shook, not from fear this time, but from anger that refused to be swallowed. Now, Carter smirked like he'd won. If you insist. Minutes later, he returned with a man in a tailored suit. The man's walk was slow, deliberate, as though he was granting me the honor of his presence. He stopped in front of me, smiling like he already knew how this would end. I'm Mr. Doyle, the manager here. What seems to be the issue? You know the issue, I snapped. Your employee denied me entry into a lounge my company has paid for, humiliated me in front of everyone here. His smile widened. Ma'am, our staff follows policy. Please, don't make a scene. That word, scene, clawed at me. I forced myself to meet his eyes. This isn't a scene. This is racism. He looked at me and decided I didn't belong. He chuckled softly, shaking his head. Racism? No, let's not exaggerate. Maybe you misunderstood. Maybe you thought you had access you don't actually have. His laughter burned worse than Carter's words. It wasn't denial. It was dismissal. A performance, crafted to make me seem unreasonable. I'm holding the badge. The contract is under my company's name. You know this. Ma'am, he cut in smoothly, I think you're mistaken. This lounge is for verified members. Passengers nearby shifted in their seats, watching, whispering. My palms went damp. Every eye was on me. I raised my voice, sharper now. This is my company's contract lounge. Gasps rippled through the hall. Doyle's face didn't change. His voice was calm, condescending. Then prove it. The words hit like ice water. Prove it. I pulled my phone from my bag, gripping it hard enough my knuckles ached. Proof was a swipe away, a single call, a single document. But something in me froze. If I proved it now, I'd be another black woman forced to justify her existence. Another human being begging to be believed. Instead, I stared him down. You want me to prove my worth to you? His smile tightened. It's not about worth. It's about policy. Policy that let him in without a second glance. I pointed at a man in a suit, still visible through the glass wall of the lounge. Policy that suddenly shifts when it's me standing here. Carter cleared his throat nervously. Sir, Doyle silenced him with a look. Ma'am, maybe it would be best if you waited in the general area. This space isn't suitable. For everyone. Not suitable for everyone. My stomach turned. You mean not suitable for me? His voice lowered, but the smirk lingered. If that's how you want to interpret it. I wanted to scream, to call Maya and unleash every lawyer. We had. But something told me to stay still, to let him keep speaking. Every word he dropped was another stone in the pit he was digging. You're laughing at me, I said softly. You're mocking me while pretending this is about rules. He shrugged lightly. I'm just keeping order, ma'am. My job is to make sure people don't mistake privilege for entitlement. Privilege? The irony nearly choked me. You don't see me as a paying client. You don't see me as a professional. You don't even see me as human enough to treat fairly. A hush fell over the hall. For once, nobody whispered. They just stared. Doyle broke the silence with another chuckle, softer this time. You're blowing this out of proportion. Calm down, or I'll have to call security. Do it, I snapped. My voice rose without my permission. Call them. Call everyone. Let them all see what you're doing. My hand hovered over my phone screen. I could have ended it then, exposed him with a single file, a single call. But no, I wanted him to keep talking, to bury himself deeper, word by word, so I lowered the phone back into my lap. Go on. Keep explaining why I don't belong in a space my company owns. His smirk flickered, almost imperceptibly. He hadn't expected me to stop defending myself. He wanted my anger, my proof, my desperation. He didn't know what to do with my silence. And so, he laughed again, louder, crueler, the sound echoing in the waiting hall. But beneath that laugh, I saw it. The crack, the faint shadow of fear that he might not be the one holding the power after all. My phone buzzed in my hand, and I pressed it tight against my ear, desperate for something familiar, something steady. Maya? My voice cracked. Her tone was sharp, urgent. They're trending, do you hear me? Someone recorded you. It's already online. My stomach dropped. What? She didn't give me room to breathe. The whole confrontation, Carter blocking you, your voice breaking, the crowd whispering. It's everywhere. People are furious. For a second, my breath caught in my chest. The humiliation I had tried to contain here was now wide open, uncontainable. Maya played a snippet through the speaker. Carter's voice sneered. Policy doesn't bend just because you people think you're special. Then my own voice followed. Trembling. This is my company's contract lounge. Hearing myself sound so small twisted my insides. Do you hear it? Maya asked. Do you feel what they feel? This isn't just you anymore. It's a movement. I pressed my hand against my forehead. And they know it's me? Not yet, she said carefully. I can release your identity in seconds. Just say the word, and everyone will know who you are. They'll know whose lounge they tried to bar you from. My eyes flicked up. Doyle was standing across from me, arms folded, smirk tugging at his mouth as if this was his stage. Carter loomed a few steps behind him, suddenly quieter but still clinging to his arrogance. I whispered into the phone, my lips barely moving. Not yet, Maya. What? She snapped. Why would you wait? They've already humiliated you. Why give them more power? Because I want to see how far they'll go, I murmured. I want to know what they'll say when they think I'm nobody, when they believe no one's watching. Maya was silent for a moment, her breath heavy on the line. Then, you're stronger than me. I would have burned the place down already. I let a bitter laugh escape. That's exactly why I'm waiting. Doyle's eyes narrowed. Talking to your lawyer? His tone was syrupy, mocking. Or maybe your family? Whoever it is, tell them the truth. Nobody will believe you. You're just another angry customer making noise. My chest tightened, but I held his gaze. He thought he was untouchable. Nobody will believe me? My voice came out soft, almost like a prayer. He smirked. Not without proof. I tilted the phone slightly, letting Maya's faint playback drift into the air again. Carter's insult echoing just loud enough for the nearest passengers to hear. Heads turned, murmurs rose like sparks catching wind. My whisper cut through. The noise, more to myself than to him, but I saw his smirk falter. The world already does. For a second, silence wrapped the hall. Doyle's jaw tightened. Carter shifted uncomfortably, and I felt my spine straighten. Maya's voice returned, fierce, steady. Whenever you're ready, say it. And I'll make sure they never laugh again. I didn't answer yet. I wasn't done watching them bury themselves. Their voices were sharp whispers just beyond the counter. She looks like she doesn't belong. Doyle's tone curled like smoke, thick with disdain. Carter's reply was nervous, clipped. Just stall her until the shift ends. She'll give up. I froze. My hand gripped the phone tighter, the record light glowing. Every syllable slid like glass under my skin. I stepped forward. My voice cut the air clean. Say it again. Doyle's head jerked up, his smirk twitching. Excuse me? You heard me. My pulse hammered, but my words carried steady. Say it to my face. Tell me why you think I don't belong. Carter's lips parted, then closed again. His Adam's apple bobbed. Silence clung to him like sweat. Doyle chuckled low, rehearsed arrogance dripping. Now, let's not twist words. You're misunderstanding. Misunderstanding? My chest burned. Your whispers are louder than any shout. Carter shifted behind him, avoiding my eyes. He tried to form words, half a syllable, then nothing. I stepped closer, my heels biting into the floor, forcing them to feel my presence. Your silence, I said, softer now, almost a whisper, is the loudest confession. The room stilled. Passengers who'd been pretending to scroll on their phones raised their eyes. I felt their gazes gather, a silent jury. Doyle straightened, clearing his throat. Ma'am, Don't ma'am me. My voice cracked, not from weakness, but from years of swallowed humiliation. You looked at my skin and decided I didn't belong. You laughed. You schemed to stall me, and now you hide behind. Silence. Carter's jaw twitched. I didn't mean... You meant every word, I cut in. And now everyone here has heard it too. That's when it happened. A woman across the lounge, her voice trembling but firm, spoke aloud. This is shameful. Every head turned to her. She didn't flinch. We all heard it. We saw how she was treated. This is not misunderstanding. This is racism. The ripple began. Murmurs spread. Disgust flickered across faces. Some leaned forward, nodding subtly, emboldened by her courage. Doyle's smugness faltered, cracking like glass. Let's not escalate. This is being blown out of proportion. Escalate? I laughed, bitter, sharp. You did that the second you decided my presence was a problem. He opened his mouth, then closed it again. Silence. Carter's eyes darted from me to the crowd, searching for rescue. None came. The weight of their silence pressed heavier than words ever could. It was the silence of guilt, of exposure, of men stripped bare before truth, and I didn't let it go. I leaned closer, steady, unwavering. You can't talk your way out of silence. Silence has already spoken. The woman passenger nodded at me, her eyes fierce with quiet solidarity. The jury had chosen sides. For the first time, Doyle had nothing left to say, and that silence screamed louder than anything he could ever deny. Who is in charge here? The sharp voice sliced through the room like glass breaking. I turned and saw Ms. Alvarez, regional director. Her presence made the air shift. Strong, steady, and unamused. Doyle straightened. Ms. Alvarez, thank goodness you came. He jabbed his finger at me. Became aggressive. We were just trying to calm her down. I let him spit his lie, every syllable sour. My pulse slowed. This was it. No, I cut in. My voice was steady, firm. Play the recording. Her eyes narrowed. Recording? I pressed play. Carter's voice first, oily and mocking. She looks like she doesn't belong. Then Doyle's. Just stall her until the shift ends. The room turned into a vacuum. Their laughter bled through the phone speaker, low and ugly. I heard my own voice, cracking with restraint, my stomach twisted. Reliving it hurt, but it was worth every second. When the last word faded, the silence was louder than the recording itself. Ms. Alvarez's gaze cut into Doyle. Is this your voice? He gave a weak laugh. Out of context. She probably edited, stop. My voice rose sharper than I expected. Stop insulting me further. I slid the phone across the counter toward Ms. Alvarez, the company's crest gleaming on its back, embossed in gold. This is my phone. This is my recording. This is my truth. Her eyes flicked down to the crest, then back up at me. Doyle's desperation cracked. She forged the badge. She's not even... I pulled the badge from my pocket, laying it flat. Forged? My hand trembled, but my words didn't. This was issued to me by headquarters, the same headquarters you report to. Gasps spread across the lounge like wildfire. A passenger whispered, "Oh my God!" I caught Doyle's face paling, his lips trembling as if searching for excuses that no longer existed. Carter shuffled backward, his eyes darting anywhere but mine. I leaned forward just slightly, locking, my eyes on Doyle. You wanted silence. You thought it would protect you. But now, your own words are screaming louder than mine ever could. Carter stammered, We didn't mean... Didn't mean. My voice sharpened, the anger, burning clear. Didn't mean to laugh while humiliating me? Didn't mean to use me as a punchline? Didn't mean to erase my dignity because of the color of my skin? My chest rose and fell, the weight of years pressing down, then lifting. Ms. Alvarez's voice was ice. Both of you, step aside, now! Doyle opened his mouth again, but no words came, just silence. The same silence that had once suffocated me now worked in my favor. I whispered, more to myself than to them, 7 minutes, and the truth finally breathes. But the silence wasn't mine anymore. It was theirs. Heavy, condemning, inescapable. Ms. Alvarez's voice cut sharper than glass. Do you two even realize who you insulted? Doyle's mouth opened, then closed again, like he was choking on excuses. Carter blinked fast, sweat shining at his temples. I let the silence drag, heavy as stone. My heart pounded, but my voice came out steady. You denied me entry into my own lounge, the one my company built, the one I own. Doyle's face drained, his lips trembled. Please, I didn't know. I swear I was just following... Following what? I snapped, stepping closer. Following hate? Following the comfort of believing I didn't belong because of my skin? Don't beg me now. He shook his head wildly, hands raised like he could push the truth back. No, you don't understand. I have a family. I can't lose this job. His knees seemed to give out, and he half collapsed into the chair behind him, the same chair where he'd leaned back smugly just minutes ago. I wanted to look away, but I didn't. His desperation was raw, but so was the memory of his laughter when he thought I couldn't hear him. Carter's voice cracked as he tried to break the tension. I'm sorry, I really am. I didn't mean for it to... I turned to him slowly. You just stood there. You let it happen. You laughed too. He flinched like the words were blows. I was wrong, he whispered, his hands wringing. I swear I'll do better. Please believe me. My throat tightened. I thought of every time someone like me had been told to calm down, every time we'd been brushed aside, made invisible, made small. And now here they were shrinking before me. 7 minutes, I said softly, almost to myself. Doyle looked up, confused. What? 7 minutes, I repeated, leaning closer. That's all it took for you to show me exactly who you are. 7 minutes of laughter. 7 minutes of lies. 7 minutes of silence when I asked you to speak. And 7 minutes later, I let the pause drag until their eyes begged for the end of the sentence. You're done. Doyle's hands shook against his knees. Please don't ruin me. I exhaled slowly, steady. His begging sounded hollow, empty. A man who had power until the moment it was stripped away. Ms. Alvarez's voice sliced. Through again, fury threaded with disgust. You think she's ruining you? You ruined yourself the second you opened your mouth? Carter's eyes welled and his words tumbled out. I was scared to say anything. He started it, but I didn't stop it. I should have. I didn't let him off easy. You should have. But you didn't. That silence was your choice. I could feel my pulse in my ears, but my tone stayed calm, precise, like I'd been rehearsing for this moment my whole life. 7 minutes, I whispered again, letting it sink into the air, into their bones. That's all it took, and 7 minutes later, it's over. The lounge had gone quiet. Even the clinking of glasses had stopped. The weight of their shame sat, thick in the air, and I didn't look away, not once. Phones buzzed around me, their tiny vibrations cutting through the silence like needles. She's the CEO, someone whispered behind me. She owns the company. Another voice hissed. God, did you see Doyle's face? I could feel the shift in the air. Not respect, not yet. Curiosity, guilt, shame. They all carried it differently, but none of them could look away. Maya's voice broke through, steady but urgent. Want me to release a statement? Press already knows. Reporters are calling. For a moment, I considered it. I could see the headlines forming, see their faces splashed across screens for the world to dissect. But I shook my head slowly. No, my silence says more than words. Maya tilted her head, searching my eyes. Are you sure? I nodded. They'll hear me in the quiet. That's where truth lives. Across from me, Doyle's voice cracked like old wood. Please, I can explain. I didn't mean... I raised my hand and he stopped. My chest tightened at the sight of him shaking, but the memory of his laughter a few minutes earlier kept me still. You explained enough already, I said. Ms. Alvarez stepped forward, her tone sharp. Mr. Doyle, Mr. Carter, effective immediately, you are both terminated. Leave your badges. Security will escort you out. Carter's eyes widened. His lips parted, but no words came. Doyle sagged back, whispering something too soft to catch. I should have felt victory. Instead, what I felt was weight. Heavy, bone deep, like every dismissal, every sneer I'd swallowed had gathered here for judgment. As the guards moved in, Doyle's gaze met mine. His lips trembled. You ruined me, he whispered. I leaned, closer just enough for him to hear. No, you ruined yourself. They were gone within seconds, swallowed by the hush of the lounge. When the doors opened again, it was different. The same doors that had refused me earlier now parted wide. Passengers stepped aside without a word, some lowering their eyes, some offering soft apologies. I'm sorry, a woman murmured as I passed. Her voice was small, as if she wasn't sure if I wanted to hear it. Another man whispered to his companion, not knowing I caught every syllable. She owned it all along. My chest tightened. The words stung, not for what they said, but for what they revealed. That even in this moment, ownership was the only measure that made me worthy, in their eyes. I paused, drew a breath, and whispered so softly it was almost only for myself. No, I've always owned myself. That's enough. The weight lifted as I spoke it aloud. Not triumph, not celebration, just truth. Maya glanced at me, her lips curving into the faintest smile. You're not going to say anything more? I shook my head. No. Sometimes the final word is silence, and I walked on, steady, through the parted crowd, through the sting of their shame and the echo of their whispers. My steps felt heavy, but they were mine. Every one of them mine. I didn't need applause. I didn't need their permission. I didn't need the world to see me because I saw myself, and that was enough.